If you clicked on this video, it can only mean one of two things. You're struggling with sculpting in Dreams, or you're here to gloat about how great you are. But seriously, if you have any tips for us, let us know. In today's Dreams video, we wanted to have a look at the frustrations from the community regarding sculpting, tell you a bit about our experiences, comparing the DualShock 4 to the Move controllers, and finally what we think will help to improve your sculpting massively. We've seen so many absolutely stunning characters created in Dreams thus far. The level of detail is just extraordinary. It makes us question, how did you make this? And how did you learn the tools so quickly? It can be frustrating for many of us who are inspiring to create top quality characters for games, films, or art in Dreams, but aren't quite hitting the same quality on display. The first thing we will say is that you're not alone. Sculpting is hard. It's difficult to master, and just because others seem to be doing much better at a faster rate, it doesn't mean that you'll never get close to their level. Some of the biggest concerns I've came across regarding sculpting is just how do you sculpt effectively with the controls. It can be a challenge to wrap your head around the controls and the amount of options available. Some of you may also be new to creation games, having never played titles such as Little Big Planet, but believe me, even with vast LBP experience, that doesn't help me as much as you think. Another complaint surrounds the available shapes we have to cut out or cut around our sculpts. A feature I've noticed being mentioned from a few creators now is the ability to create our own shapes and use them to fine-tune a sculpt in our own way. With current shapes, it's still possible, but it can take a little extra work and creativity to make the most of them. If LBP can give you this option, then why can't Dreams? From my own experience, I can understand these points of view. I haven't sculpted too much as I've been focusing on other aspects of Dreams, such as animation, creating basic scenes, organising a fully playable or watchable dream. I know for a fact that sculpting will be the most challenging part for me. Sure, logic may also be a stumbling block, but I have experience with that from LBP. Sculpting in full 3D? Not so much. I did make Mr. Blobby from one of our live streams and it was a decent first attempt. I've only sculpted basic things afterwards, but I plan to continue with more character sculpting once the first episode of Shaped, our first Dreams animation, arrives on Friday. I'm currently sculpting using the DualShock 4 controller, which I'm sure a lot of people do. Which brings me to my next debate. Is it worth splashing out for a PlayStation camera and two Move controllers just to potentially improve our sculpting? Luckily, I have a PlayStation camera, which I bought last year to use in our live streams, and I have an old Move controller from the PS3 days, which I could easily reuse. Buying one more Move controller is simpler for me, but what about some of you who don't own a camera or any moves? It would certainly cost you a bit of money, almost like an investment that may or may not pay off. Based on what the vast majority have been saying about the Move controllers, it seems to me that they are the clear favourite for sculpting. They increase productivity, meaning you spend around 2/3 less time making a sculpt. You have more control considering you can physically sculpt using your hands as opposed to your fingers with the DS4 sticks. What I was planning to do was learn the basics of sculpting using the DS4, and then once I'm more confident, purchase a Move controller and really practice until I improve. And that's really the most important thing, practice. They say that if you want to get good at something, you must practice, practice, practice. It's easy to feel unmotivated and give up in frustration, but it's really true that if you practice, you will see results. Most people, myself included, expect fast results. It rarely happens. What we need to accept is that it may take us a good amount of time to get our heads around sculpting, but in the end we will reap the rewards if we just stick with it. Always look to improve and make sculpting your passion. If it feels too much like work or you're not enjoying it, stop. You can find other aspects in Dreams to focus on and leave sculpting to others. I'm sure the Dreams community would be delighted to help you or share something you could use instead. To master anything, they say you require at least 10,000 hours of experience. That's not something we can truly count on, however, as that will take multiple years to reach that level. What we can do today is sculpt a few times per week, and each week compare and analyse what could be improved. Even with an above average skill, you could make some really impressive work on your road to improvement. That's something I'll look to do, and one of the ways I'm going to do it is by making a short animation every single week, gradually improving each week and seeing clear results. I'm not the type of person that enjoys just making characters for the sake of art. I like to make them for some kind of production. It's such a satisfying feeling at the end to know that your characters are coming to life, and hopefully others are enjoying that too. We hope that no matter what you create in Dreams, you'll have fun every step of the way. Are you working on any character sculpts at the moment? Let us know down in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next Dreams video.